What's up, everybody? Today I'll make it cozy. We're going to add some mobility to the bandsaw. So let's check this out. So the bandsaw is pretty well stationary and shouldn't have to move too often, but there are often times whenever I am doing a project and it bumps up against my router table, which definitely makes me very angry and disturbs my creative flow. So we're going to go ahead and clean this thing up, get everything off of here, and then while I'm at it, I'm going to go ahead and get in there with the neglected bandsaw dust and go ahead and whoop, just take care of it, no big deal. So my office can't be moving around this big old table saw. Like, my back hurts, I'm getting old, this sucks. And my tool wall, everything else has mobility, so I figured, like, why not go ahead and put the bandsaw to good use by getting it mobile. So the idea in basic form is to get 2x4s mounted on the bottom to get casters on so that I can engage the casters whenever I need it to move and disengage it when I want it to be stationary. So I was using this cardboard template and I was tracing the legs around to get my 2x4 and my 2x3s up underneath there to kind of like custom fit it. And then I thought to myself, cozy, you don't have to reinvent the wheel here, dude. Just 2x4 in front, 2x4 in back, connect them, caster. Or in the case of the front of the bandsaw, 2x4, 2x4, caster. Keep it simple, dude. So after getting that new and let's face it, easier method to get this thing mounted, I'm going to use a 2x3 in the back, and then I'm going to use the 2x4s in the front. But I'm only using the 2x3 in this location right here in the back where the pulley is located, because the 2x3 is obviously a little bit shorter than a 2x4 and I don't want it to mess up my operation. And so I'm just going to kind of like work it around this lip, and then that way I can eat away those pieces that I don't need and it'll just kind of fit into place. And then whenever I go through, I'll be able to mount the front part on the back of the motor where the pulley is located, so that eventually I can sit casters up underneath and I can engage. So for this part, I'm going to use my custom table saw sled and just kind of eat away at the pieces that I don't need, and then I'll hog out the rest with a chisel and the bandsaw itself. I'll use the angle finder for the front parts of the 2x4s that are going to mount to each other, and so I'll just use, it's like 7 degrees, I'll just bloop, knock that out. But now I need the hardware to actually do the construction that I'm talking about to add mobility, and that's where JLCMC.com comes in. This is an online platform that specializes in automation and industrial manufacturing components. They provide both standard and custom solutions, so they cater to small businesses, DIY creators such as myself, and they have high-quality, cost-effective products, and they do international shipping as well, which is very nice. They offer things like transmission systems, linear motion components, custom aluminum profiles, enclosures, hardware, this kind of stuff. So if you're into 3D printing, like, this is definitely the site for you. But the star of the show here are the casters. And so there's like some print reading kind of stuff going on here, which kind of looks intimidating initially. But I'll tell you that after going through the website, it's really intuitive and it really helps you get like what kind of caster material you need to take the weight, the dimensions of where the screws are going to mount. All that comes into play to make sure that I'm customized to exactly fit the 2x4s that are essentially going to stack, as well as the nuts, bolts, washers, the hardware like that, and the hinges that are going to engage and disengage the casters themselves. So taking my custom Japanese inspired knife, link in the description, I opened up the box and everything is really well packaged, everything is separated, and it's labeled accordingly with the specs and everything that I put in. And so again, I'm really happy that JLCMC reached out to me, and let's go ahead and get back in this build. So off camera, I went ahead and cut all my 2x4s that I'm going to mount to the appropriate length and angle. But if I'm going to have two 2x4s basically mount into the frame itself, I need to have the bolts and everything to engage. And so the bottom of the frame where the motor is mounted, it already has some holes in it, but I just need to make my own holes. And if you don't jam up your drill, you're just not doing it right. Or maybe it's the other way around, I can't remember. But anyways, make sure that you're careful with power tools, like power is in the name. So just be ready in case something doesn't go according to plan. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and drill out the holes so that I can get everything mounted. And that way I can put the two 2x4s, one that's going to be horizontal, just going right in the front. The other one is going to mount from the underside. So this one's going to get bolted to the front, and then using those existing holes in the frame and replacing the bolts that came with the motor mount, I'm just going to go ahead and screw them from the bottom into the frame, or from the frame down to the 2x4 and also to the 2x4 that's mounted in the front. Hopefully that makes sense. You can follow along with the pictures if I didn't describe it properly. But precariously perching the bandsaw on the router table is going to get me the access that I need to put the casters on the bottom. So the casters on the front here, they're just barely going to kiss the bottom of the cement floor in my workshop. And the reason that is because like I want the bandsaw to be stationary whenever it's not engaged. And so whenever the back casters are engaged with the hinges you'll see later, these will engage the front so that I can move them accordingly. And I'll tell you, this is already leaps and bounds better for me to move this thing around, but I need to figure out a way to actually engage the back. So all right, so it's the next day. I've had a rest. and I think I have an idea as to how to combat it. It's kind of like using this. All right, so my plan is that I will create this like lever type system, like basically just a big switch that when it's not activated, the wheels will not be activated. Simple enough. But whenever you flip the switch, it'll push down. It'll hopefully give me enough leverage to push the wheels down. That way it'll also engage the front wheels so that it can move very freely. And then whenever I'm done, I just flip it back up, the wheels retract, and they just kind of float around in space. So let's see if that'll work. I'm also very excited because it is not like -10 in here today, so it's definitely a plus whenever you're trying to work. Yeah, homie, so it's like, I just got this piece of wood that I've been saving. It was for my kitchen remodel, and, we don't throw anything away around here. We got to repurpose it, so this is going to be my on-off switch, basically, right? With a pivot point, the lever, engage, disengage the casters, everything's cool. So, with that being said, I got the front mounted, now I got to get the back mounted, but putting them together, front to back, just like this, there was like a space, so when I started to tighten the bolt, it was pivoting on the gap, so it's good whenever you make cuts and you want to show it is to turn your camera on. So yes, so that is a pro tip that you can put in your back pocket. But anyways, I got my spacers cut so that the bolts aren't going to go through those spacers. It's just going to go through the gap so that it doesn't triangle upon itself. I'm super pumped. I know you're pumped. We're going to go ahead and get ready with the 5th piece. This is going to be where the casters are engaged. So just make quick work, just punch it. It'll it's like ice or glass. If you score it, it'll cut where you need it to. And then you put your casters on like so, engage them, and then I'm going to put the hinges in the front so that like I said, it'll just barely engage those back casters to also engage the front casters. But as you will clearly see with the spoiler alert in hand, this is not going to really go according to plan, because it's just like I said, I wanted to kiss the bottom of the thing, but that was just the front. That was just the front wheels. So whenever I actually do engage them, it still drags like tremendously. Like it didn't even help putting the back casters on compared to the front that we saw earlier. So still going to get my hinge point together. This is where it really comes into fruition, where I'm like, yo, it's not working the way I planned it. So the struggle, the pondering, I'm like, what is happening here? So reevaluating, I came to the conclusion that it would probably be best if I mounted the hinge on the bottom of the back. So that's exactly what we're going to do. Speed it up. Now my hinge or my pivot doesn't engage properly. So luckily I got a plethora of recycled plastic. So I'm just going to make a little gap fixer-upper and bada boom. Just throw it. It'll magically, just go into a square. It's not hard, guys. And that's it. So boom, there you go. I can engage properly, and the moment of truth. Lower it down. I'm engaging it. It's moving. Things are cool. And I have a burr that is scraping, but I can deal with that. It's not ideal, but you know what? This is ideal, moving this bad boy. So I got the hook to keep it engaged when I need to. It's moving, it's mobile, it's way easier for me, and I definitely consider this a win. So that's what's up. And when it's not engaged, it is stationary. So we're going in for the sweeps, the exciting sweeps. This is the part where people put their enlightening music in or whatever, and this is low profile, so yeah. I know there's a lot of solutions out there to get mobility to bandsaws or other type of mounted power tools, and ideally it would be easy, right? You've got 4 legs, you make a rectangle or a square, wheels on the bottom, engage, disengage, moving, stable, done, right? My bandsaw, since it had the angled legs and the shelf, kind of posed some challenges, but hey, it's all part of the problem solving. You got to pivot when needed. And eventually, aside from the annoying burr that scrapes from where the bottom of the one leg mounts, I'll file that away. You don't want to see me file, that's boring. But I'll take care of that off screen on the few times that I do have to resaw lumber or a stump. I'm trying to think of an Angry Beavers reference. But anyways, I appreciate JLCMC for collaborating with me on this video to try to minimize yet again another distraction I have in the shop. I need to keep the efficiency moving, keep the flow, not distracted, right? If you don't know what I'm talking about, check out this video where I minimize my side quests in the shop. If you know what I'm talking about, hey, if you know, you know, right? But again, I appreciate you sticking with me. We'll catch you on the next one. Peace. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you can check out this video over here where I talk about how my shop slows me down. It's like going through slop, you know what I mean? It's like molasses or whatever. You're trying to hustle, but you can't. What are we talking about? I don't even know. Angry beavers.